Hello and welcome to the darkest of dark African nights. You can see it's a little bit chilly out here, but apart from being chilly, it is very smelly. We are sitting about 15 meters away from a recently deceased ellie. We're not quite sure what happened to the ellie. It is dry season, so it could have had a pre-existing condition, and as the vegetation has got less palatable, etc., it might have succumbed, but it has created a huge amount of activity from vultures and hyenas. Now the hyenas were just here, then 2 elephant bulls came and chased them. So we're hoping that they're going to come back soon. We could hear them whooping very, very close by. And that's going to show you the carcass now. We are actually doing something that you guys have never been along for before. We're actually rolling both not only our live cam but also our big camera. I just need to play with the settings a little bit quickly. And pretty sure the hyenas are going to make an appearance soon. They were all around a bit earlier. And those elephants are just behind us here. I can just hear them not too far away. They might come back if the hyenas come back. There's a hyena. The first hyena is making its way back. Okay, let me get ready on the other camera. First hyena should be popping his head through shortly. There he comes. approaching cautiously, not because of us, but because of those elephants. Cat, those are not snare marks on the leg, that is vulture dung on the leg. So I will get to everyone's questions shortly. I'm just going to get out our magnificent lead lens. There we go. No need to check. I was wondering where the hyenas were going to come from. Second hyena, that looks like Sparky or Mellow coming to join, one of the sub-adults from the den. Hi Brandy, Becky, Patricia, Joanne, Rosalind, Black Widow, Spider, Annie, Chris, Giraffe Girl, Jason, James, Chef Lady, Patricia, Mrs. Johnson, Wheelie Girl, Joshua. I'm very, very sad for the elephants, but of course, as we know, it provides a huge amount of nutrients back into the bushveld. Now there is a bit of a wind tonight, which could make the hyenas a little bit cautious. I'm going to try and sort out this camera quick, where I can see a bit better. We might get some nice. You can hear more hyenas further away. That clickety clickety is me just sorting out my shutter speeds. Oh, a hyena coming from behind us. Oh, you can hear them now. There we go. So, hyena experts out there who can tell us which hyenas we have so far. Mauricia, we're not sure how the elephant died. I agree, everyone. The whoops are fantastic. Here comes another hyena walking in right from front of us. Matt's going to join in from the left. Now it's going to be interesting to see the hierarchy amongst the hyenas now. It's always sometimes the best way to figure out a lot of the social structure. Is it a big carcass like this? Just watching the different interactions between the individuals. So you can see whoever's just arrived is more dominant. Is that a leaf or another one coming? Rosalind, the elephant was quite young, I'd guess probably late teens. Kim, they are going to start eating now. So just as we arrived, they were actually chased away by some other elephants. We have Mellow and Sparky both here. Angie, the tusks have already been removed. Mauricia, I agree. Some of the best sounds in the bush are the whoops of a hyena. I'm just checking, making sure those elephants, there were 2 ellie bulls that were just here. They've moved off down towards Ndlovu Dam. Now, just making sure if there are any other hyenas, and you never know, lions might come in at any point. So you see those things that look like snare marks? That's vulture dung from earlier today. Oh, touch my head. My pleasure, Kim, who's all the way in Maine, USA. Why don't you guys let us know where you're watching from? It'd be great to know where everyone is. I'd be fascinated to see how many countries we've got here. Hello, Dr. Rob. Mars, we arrived a little bit late. They'd moved away. But Anton, who was here earlier, said the elephants were standing sort of guard over the carcass, but they have moved off. Rambo, indeed. Vulture poop is pretty big. Oh, we got Tucson, Arizona here. Crafty Jacks in the UK. Rambo Ford Clan Henry, Santa Barbara County, California. Tennessee, USA. West Virginia, Rhode Island, Queensland, Australia. Oh, it's going so quickly I can't keep up. Virginia, USA. Nanimo, I hope I'm saying that right, on Vancouver Island in British Columbia, Canada. Ontario, Canada. Sacramento, California. Flushing, Michigan. New York, Michigan, UK. Oh, I hear some whoops. A Swiss girl living in Connecticut, Texas. London. Hello, Zozo. From London. Cape Cod, Washington State. England, Alberta, Canada. Monterey, Ontario, Massachusetts. Another Alberta. Spokane, Washington. Fort Worth, Texas. Vancouver Island. UK, oh, Hawaii. Hi, Wendy in Hawaii. Sue, in North Wales? No, we're quite safe here, Sue. We're not in danger at all. Colorado is also here. Wild Atlantic Way Island. Kansas City, South Carolina, Netherlands, Indiana, Austin. Another Northern Ireland. Angela, our pleasure. Picky in Palabora, so just up the road. Pennsylvania, Nebraska, Durban, Minnesota, Chicago, Tucson, Sonoma. The hyena definitely has a smelly success look. I'm not sure where they've disappeared to now. They might be just feeding on the other side, on the stomach side of the carcass, and we can't see. But it is, I'm sure they're just behind the carcass. Now we don't want to go anywhere else because, oh no, there's one of them. Okay, so those of you watching on Facebook, I'm going to get to your questions now. VM is sending them through to me. Okay, let's have a look. So for those of you watching on, oh no, that's not Facebook. I mean, that's not Telegram. That's, we've got some from Bend, Oregon, USA, Cape Town. Denise would like to know, how did it die? Denise, we're not sure. Are we getting an inspection, which is not uncommon? Hi, little one. We're not sure how the elephant died. As I said, it is dry season, but there's some very smelly, happy hyenas. There you go, Z down in Nelspruit. And with the elephants, probably late teens. Let's just sit in the mass of maggots and blood and guts. Obviously, if you're a hyena, you wouldn't want to be anywhere else. Theo, this elephant carcass is not near the brown ivory tree den. It's probably similar distance from the original den, the Pronoides or den where the cameras are. Lady Macbeth, hopefully you'll be able to come back soon. Oh, hello, Lene, who's sitting on Quenga watching. Black Widow Spider, we are south of Ndlovu Dam. There we go. I need to just do some adjustment on the other camera here quickly. So, ooh, that's an alarm call. You might not have heard it. Some of you might have heard it on the den before. It's a very interesting sound a hyena makes, and it is a little bit of a distress or alarm call. It's sort of a, almost sounds like the velociraptors from Jurassic Park. And that hyena's moved off. That means there could be another predator coming in. Or an elephant. We'll check with the big torch now. See anything down the road there, Matt? Now, the wind is quite gusty tonight, so they will be a little bit overcautious. They don't want to be caught on the carcass by lions. Although I think I can still hear one eating. Okay, no sign. Now, of course, when we come out, when it's cold and at night like this, it's not the easiest always, but we do enjoy it. But you've got to come prepared, you see. You've got a beanie on. And I've got my tea with me, so I'm going to have a cup of tea while we wait, while there's no hyenas on the carcass. Zephyr, we're not sure what that little alarm was for and why it moved off, but we'll sit and wait to find out. Lion eyes, we're not sure how it died. We just know it's a teenager. So we are in the dry season now. The quality of food's not as good. It might have had a pre-existing condition. Sorry, I'm just pouring my tea. Yay. Matthew, would you like some tea? You've got some tea. Okay, good for you, Matthew. Now you can't have any of my tea. I'm going to keep all the big flask all to myself. Samsung, indeed, it is one of our wonderful LED lenses that we use to check around to see what's coming. We use yellow light generally to film, so that's yellow light, and instead of using the white light. It's just that they're such great torches, they can be a bit bright, and we don't want to affect what's happening. Now, some people might be wondering why we're not using infrared. Now, on young animals and in sensitive circumstances and animals that are not nocturnal, infrared, you can use infrared to film at night. But hyenas on an elephant carcass, you're not really affecting their behavior. We're not going to blind them with a little white light. They can see quite well through the light, so we're not interfering or affecting the behavior, so that's why we can use a spotlight. And as great as infrared is, it just looks so much better in light. So we'll just have a quick pan with the lead lenser again quickly. See if there's anything coming up the road. Now, I'm sure those hyenas are not far off. The wind's picked up a little bit. Now, I'll be back here bright and early tomorrow morning for a live private safari, and there are still some seats left on that private safari, so you can book a spot to come see what's happening at the elephant carcass early tomorrow morning by emailing info@painteddog.tv. Yummy tea. Farmer, no, it definitely is a natural mortality, so no samples will be taken. Rambo Ford clan, lions can probably smell a carcass from a kilometre or two, but what would lead lions to this carcass would probably be the vultures. So there are probably 250, 300 vultures around here today, and male lions in particular will watch vultures dropping and come investigate those areas. Robert, our pleasure. Kim, if this was killed by lions, yes, the lions would still be on the carcass unless they got chased off by a superior number of hyenas or other lions. So I'd say if lions did kill this, they would definitely still be here. Twitter painted, we're not sure how long we're going to stay out. We're going to sort of play it by ear. Leopards would definitely take the opportunity to come feed on a carcass like this. I've seen leopards feed on elephant carcasses quite a few times in Botswana and the Sabi Sands. So it's possible that the other elephants might grieve this individual. I'm not sure whether he was part of a small bachelor group or he was going on his own, but even the fact that the elephants visited the carcass earlier and chased the hyenas off could be perceived as a form of grieving. Sally would like to know what time in the morning, please. Charles, remind me. Early. I think we go live at 6 or 6:30, Matt? 6:30. So 6:30 Central African time, we will be live tomorrow morning. Cheers, guys. So Anton from Pridelands has been sitting next to us. Oh, thank you so much, John. Thanks, John. Bye, guys. Deja vu, it's a young male elephant, late teens, early 20s. We're not quite sure how it died, but it is dry season, so it could be a whole bunch of factors. We're sure it's nothing dangerous like anthrax or anything like that, but it is going to provide a lot of food for the hyenas, who seem to have disappeared. They gave that little alarm call and then scurried off. But as I say, we've got our hot tea. We've got both big cameras out. Matthew can show you. We've actually got the lower angle, the big filming camera down here, so we can capture the stuff there. So in case anything happens, so we've got both cameras out. We've got tea, and we've got you guys to keep us company. Hi everyone, thank you Rambo, thank you Dee. James, it's a young bull, so I think it was probably part of one of the larger bachelor groups that we see quite frequently on Pridelands. Yeah, it's 20 past 8 or 25 past 8 in the evening. Raphael, that's the joy of these carcasses. You don't really know what might turn up. Something might have scared the hyenas off. We might get a big male leopard. We might get a small female leopard. We might get lions. We might get something small like a genet or a civet. Elihu, that is probably one of the only things we are definitely not going to see this evening, is wild dogs. Dark night like this, they're not really going to be moving around too much, and they'll want to avoid a carcass like this because their biggest natural predator is their lions. Thank you, James. Indeed, Nanette, it will feed a huge amount of animals. So as sad as it is to see a magnificent creature like an elephant dead, it does give back to the ecosystem, and it is completely intertwined. So the nutrients from this elephant will feed the hyenas, and will actually even feed the soil around where it's died, and the bones will actually be chewed on by rodents and porcupines and other things for a long time to come. Regula, it all depends. So sometimes if you've got big clans of hyenas, like in certain places, like in the Masai Mara and in parts of Botswana, where you've got 90-odd hyenas, this carcass can be gone in 2 or 3 days. So this carcass, this elephant died, we suspect, not yesterday, the day before. The guys came and removed the head for the tusks yesterday. The vultures only really found it yesterday afternoon. And, well, actually, no, this morning. The vultures only really found it this morning. The hyenas were here this morning. Everything only really found it today. So this is sort of the first day it's been really active. So I think we'll have some action around this for a couple of days, particularly from the bigger animals. But later on, smaller animals will come through, and a lot of people don't realize that things like birds, starlings and stuff like that will come and actually feed on the maggots and the grubs and the pupa from the larvae, from the flies and stuff that are also around. Oops, yeah, push the wrong setting. Let's do another quick little pan. The hyenas behind us. So at least we did see some of the hyenas. I'm not sure. It could be the wind, and I mean they've been eating it for a while, so they could just be really full and just sleeping close by. But as I say, it's definitely worth sort of staking out while you're here. Deja vu, our pleasure. Thank you, Thelma. Twitter, we thought about setting up a carcass cam. Unfortunately, there's just no really a good spot to do that. There's no decent trees where we're able to put up a link and put up a camera where it's going to be safe from being chewed by the hyenas. Thank you, Peanuts. No problem, Velma. Well, as I said, yeah, I've seen leopards on a lot of these big carcasses, Lady Macbeth. Oof, no, that is a difficult question. It completely depends. I mean, if the lions come in, plus the hyenas, plus the vultures, but the carcass will take months to completely disappear. The bones will be around here, particularly the big bones like the pelvis, etc. Claire, I hope that also helps answer your question there. So I would say currently, if it's just the hyenas and vultures, they're probably going to be active on this carcass for at least 5 or 6 days, maybe even a bit more. Betty, sometimes, yes, they will come mourn. I've even seen elephants, particularly, not so much in the case with young bulls, but with bigger bulls, older bulls. I've actually seen other bulls sort of try and mount the carcass and fight the carcass, as in trying to get dominance. But yes, it is possible. There were elephants here. Theo, it would be very unlikely for another clan of hyenas to make its way down south to where we are and try to feed on this carcass. Not impossible, but I think the Pridelands clan would take will be most upset for it. Now you remember 15 kilometers in the bush is a long way. I mean, so Naledi is quite a long way from us. So Lady Macbeth, a giraffe carcass generally will disappear a bit quicker than an elephant, purely just due to the size of the bones and stuff, and the hyenas and other stuff will chew on the bones for quite a lot longer. Cheers, Annie. It's very smelly, Sue. So we've got Matt's mom is Sue. Say hi, Mom, Matt.
Hello.
Come on, Matt. Say hi properly.
What was it?
Say hello to your mother.
I say hello.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yes, Matthew. Don't worry, Sue. I'll sort him out. Thank you, Wendy. Thank you, Yvonne. Zephyr, the head is taken and buried, and that is so it's easier to take the tusks out and you don't have to cut them out, because I mean there's incredibly long nerves in an elephant's tusk. Like imagine the nerve in your tooth now just on that grand scale. So it's taken, it's buried at the park headquarters and will be dug up in about a month when the tusks are easy to remove. Well, have fun bathing and grooming the dog, Pam. See, Cantrell, we're about 15, 20 meters away from the carcass. Exactly. Get another cup of coffee on. It's going to be a stakeout. So Zephyr and Lady Macbeth, everywhere is a bit different. So that elephant in the Sabi Sands, the guys chose to use a chainsaw to remove the tusks, which can be quite a difficult process. Baluli generally decides to bury the head and then remove the tusks in a month or two when it's much easier. Burnt forever. There are good jackal populations here on Pridelands, so yes, we might definitely see a jackal. Thank you, Regula. Sarah, we're not sure. I mean, by the time the carcass was found and stuff, there wasn't any obvious sign of a stabbing from another male, but it is very possible. Jacques, there's been a single lioness around for a while. Hello, Matlori. Hello, Sarah Lives. So, Raphael, as I said, non-carnivores that are attracted. A lot of the bird species during the day, hornbills and stuff like that, particularly early in the morning before the vultures really get going. And they're not actually after the meat, they're after the maggots from the flies. Hello, Sarah in Australia. Tawny eagles would also make their way down there. Theo, I'm hoping that maybe Lagatha, pixie pan. And what you're hearing right now is not actually a fly. And it's very surprising to see these guys. But I'm really careful, they bite. I'll put a torch on it now for you, Matthew, if it doesn't take off. But, oh, let me grab him. Be careful, they can, he's gone. There it is. It's a red driver ant. So that is either a drone or a queen. And I say, quite unusual to see them at this time of the year. They're an absolute pain in summer. They often get stuck in your shirt and bite you and horrible things, red driver ants. Where is he? Is it bright? Too bright, Matt?
Yeah, it is a bit.
I can take it down a notch. Oh, and of course he's going to fly as soon as I do that. Well, there we go. Okay. Let's have a look for that. Where are the hyenas gone? There were at least 4 or 5 around for a while. Oh, we've got bats buzzing around us. Thank you, Joanne. Our pleasure, Pam. Yeah, so it's quite unusual to have red driver ants around at this time of the year. Okay, while nothing's here, let's see. Now, for those of you who might have a little bit of a weak stomach, just to be careful. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, while we wait for the hyenas, I'm just going to go take you guys to have a little bit of a closer look. We might be able to see the maggots and stuff, so if you are a bit sensitive, I do warn you. But remember, it's all part of the system. Low range. Actually, that is just asking for trouble, isn't it, Matt? Let's take the big camera off while we do this. So while there's nothing here, let's just go have a bit of a closer look. You can see how the grass has been completely flattened around here, and that's actually mostly from the vultures during the day today. Woo, smelly. I'm trying to see. She can't really, there we go. It looks like a lot of the maggots have sort of tried to get down in deeper to hide. Let's see if we can get around. Now you see why how important it is to have large carnivores, to open up the skin, because a vulture is not going to be able to cut open that skin by itself. So hyenas and lions are very important in these circumstances to open up the carcass so the scavengers can get in. And you can see some of the flies sitting on the carcass. No, Joanna, we don't, at night you don't get out of a car to look at carcasses like this. You don't know if there's a male lion on his way in or a big pride of lions. I'm going to go see if we can make our way in around from the back. That's the only other place. So obviously this was opened up when the reserve management took the head, but the bottom side would have probably been naturally opened up by by the predators. Oh, I thought I was going to lose my tea there for a second. That would be horrible. Now, quite often in these cases, and we will do that just now once we've had a look at the back, is that the hyenas and stuff might just be lying close by with full bellies. Is that okay, Matt? Can you check? Put my... Good. Just a small bush. Okay. Oh, there we go. Someone's coming back. Okay. There's a hyena coming back. Let's wait to see. You're going to go back to the carcass, then we'll park back where we were. Still looking a bit jumpy. As I said, it could be just the wind tonight. It's not scared of us. It's checking out something else. It's checking the wind. It's one of the little ones. I think what's that? Sparky. Thank you, Risa. Sarah, the time here is 20 to 9 in the evening. Very funny, Puma. Thank you, Joanne. Elise, absolutely big welcome to you. Thank you, Joanna. I think the flies are staying up just because it's the carcass. They're definitely not as active. Hello, Trouble. You're going to come say hi. You can see the blood around his neck. Or her neck, I don't know if it's a boy or girl just yet. Ambassador of Truth, using spotlights is not affecting the animals. It is quite common practice throughout the safari reserves in Africa. We don't shine on certain species and stuff where the light will affect them. But in this circumstance around an elephant carcass with quite a few hyenas, there were probably 5 or 6. This is a little sub-adult. The adults were close by. It is not affecting their behavior. We're not putting them in danger. And I promise you, I'm not ringing the dinner bell for them to eat me either. Let's have a quick look. Let's reverse a bit. Our nose in there. So when you got a good shot, Matt. Oh no, that small bush is going to be in the way, isn't it? Just change our angle slightly. He's going behind the griviers. Okay, let's just change up again. Where are you going, little one? Okay, that'll do. Good, Matt?
Yep.
The hyenas probably found the carcass before the lions because they were around. So the lions would have to be quite close, and our big pride of lions at the moment is currently on Quenga, about 5 kilometers to the east of us. So definitely beyond what they would be able to smell. They wouldn't smell this carcass from that distance. Hi, Josie, who's slipping in quietly. Thank you, Kim. Robert, the elephant had been dead probably about a night. I think it died 2 nights ago, before it was found. Exactly, Lady Macbeth. It's too late in the evening for coffee. It's tea time. I can hear him walking right around. You might come back up to say hello to us. What I'll do is I'll put up our other lead lenser to the side. So if he does come walking in from the side, we'll know. Yeah, I'd say most of the hyenas are probably around here at the moment. You can hear some talking to each other just off in the bushes to the right. Ooh, ooh, there's low hyena. Ooh, somewhere just in these thickets. So I said a lot of them I think are just really fat and full. And they won't be far from the carcass. They're just lying down. Puma, I will do that in a second. I'm just going to pour myself another cup of tea before I get into a long, lengthy... Here comes a hyena. Here we go. Chef lady, do you ever get used to the smell? You do, actually. Strangely enough, a lot faster than you think you would normally. But yeah, you do get used to the smell. Matthew, how's the smell for you? It's not too bad. It's also only 2 days old. An elephant after 5 days is a completely putrid smell, but you do get used to it. Aha, yay. Tea? Yugel, we are on Pridelands Conservancy in the Greater Kruger National Park. That is where we are currently. Hyena's disappeared. I'm sure he'll come out again now. Just sit patiently. Deja vu. Never too late for coffee. I think young Matt would agree with you. Matt likes his coffee. Brian, would you not use a drone for this? It's there. Just behind there. There's at the elephant bomb. Going to the other hole. The other open area. Just see him eating between the bushes. Trying to climb actually in there. Brian, I think a drone, depending on what type of drone, could be a little bit disturbing. They're quite loud at night. And the one thing I would worry about a drone in this situation is that it might impair the hyena's hearing a little bit because it's a constant noise that something like a lion might be able to sneak up on them. So where we are now, you wouldn't be able to fly a drone very high. We're in protected airspace. We're very close to a large Air Force base, a South African military Air Force base. So this is protected airspace. So you can't just sort of fly drones high around here. Ambassador Truth, we are broadcasting from Pridelands Conservancy in the Greater Kruger National Park in the Baluli Game Reserve. So there's no fences between here and the rest of the Kruger National Park, which leaves about a 2.4 million hectares. Oh, I can hear an elephant pushing over a tree not too far away as well. 2.4 million hectares, or over 5 million acres of unfenced wilderness in South Africa for these animals to roam free. Bye, Regula. Thank you for joining. So apparently that's... Oh, sorry. I was reading everyone's comments. Where did Sparky go? Oh, there he is. Trying to find a good spot to get into the carcass. Now, remember, I'll be back here in daylight tomorrow morning for a private live virtual safari, and there still are some seats available. You can join me at 6:30 a.m. Central African time. And for more information about how to book your seat on a private live virtual safari, you can just email info@painteddog.tv. Maybe I'm just lucky. I suppose I've been exposed to stuff like this from a very young age. I've been very fortunate that I've grown up in the bush, and my dad and mom have taken me, and I've seen elephant carcasses and kills from a very young age. And I suppose the smell and the nature of it is just something I see as sort of normal after growing up in the African bush. Yugel, I'm not 100% sure yet. I've seen at least 6 different individuals on this carcass today. And we know there's between 17 and 20 in the Pridelands clan. And I'm pretty sure they're all going to cycle through here. Robert, as I said, I think some of the hyenas are very full. And I hear little communications not far away in the thickets around. So I'm sure they're still close. Oops, that was close. I nearly dropped the spotlight. Sorry about that. I need to rearrange. Where have you gone? Behind the hip? Okay, I'll keep an eye out from popping up. And I can actually hear a hyena vomiting off just to the right in my bushes here, or dry heaving.
There he is.
So the small cubs, the little black cubs you see on the den cam, yes, they are too young to come to a carcass like this. It would be far too dangerous for them. Beach bunny, we've got 2 sub-adults, this one in front of us, and then we've got 4 tiny little cubs. And if you just go through to Painted Dog TV, we have live cameras all over the bush at waterholes, and we even have one at a hyena den. Currently, there are 2 active dens, but we only have cameras at the one, and there is a mother called Saseka, which means beautiful, and she's got one tiny, tiny little baby, probably about a month old and completely black still. Well, there goes Sparky. Donya Viet, you'd be surprised. I've seen leopards sneak in situations like this, particularly if there's only a sub-adult hyena feeding and the adults are sort of just lying around, and they're all quite full. So they're not too worried about food or competition for food. So it would not be a big surprise for me if a leopard snuck in here to try and grab a quick bite. Zephyr, as I said, the adults are close. I can hear them very close to here, not even more than 20 meters away, just, I think, sleeping in the thickets, sleeping their big elephant bellies. Robert, just Charles, if you can see that comment from Robert, how to view a private safari after booking a seat without doing Zoom. Charles will let you know. A different type of the bush, ambassador of the truth, but definitely the bush. I would love to spend some time in the Everglades. Fortunately, the only time I was there, I just drove through on Alligator Alley, and I had no time to go do a proper visit into the glades, but it is high on my bucket list to do. Can you just hear hyena licking itself? Somewhere in here, just out of sight. But what we will do just now is go on a little loop around this area, because you never know, there might be a leopard sort of watching on the peripheries. They do that quite often at a big carcass. They might be sitting sort of 30, 40 meters away, watching, waiting for a lull between the hyenas. So yeah, I can hear the hyenas sort of grooming and licking each other just behind this bush here. Don, we're not sure how this elephant died. Theo, there are cheetahs on Pridelands, but they move through quite sporadically. Mauricio, as we arrived, there were 2 elephant bulls checking out this carcass. So they have been to visit. I see Charles as being funny. I think he made a mistake. I think there's supposed to be a special, but Charles says you can buy 6 seats or 6 tickets for the price of 6. Charlie, what's happening there? So the predators have an incredibly robust digestive system and immune system. So they often will pick up and hunt the sickly animals. So there's very few diseases out here that can actually affect them. Good night, Sarah. There we go. 6 for the price of 5. That sounds a bit more like a deal, Charles. Picky, I've got my hands around a warm cup of tea. So my hands aren't too cold. Raphael, well, it depends with... oh, there we go. Here we go. He's coming back. We're just going to walk past. Coming out the other side yet? Yeah. You still see him?
No, I don't.
No, he's gone through. Let's see. Let's just wait. We'll keep an eye out, see if he comes out. Sometimes they might just come to inspect us. I mean, I've had these hyenas sniffing my shoes before. And that's not because I got smelly feet, before anyone makes a joke. I heard Matt laughing there. So it depends on where they're able to get into. There we go. I thought he might do this. And now you're going to come say hi. Hello, Trouble. Of course, he stopped behind the bush for you, didn't he, Matt?
No.
Is he okay? You can see completely unperturbed with us in the vehicle. Now, we've obviously been following them at the den for a long time. Steph, the drive tomorrow is at 6:30 a.m. Central African time, and it's a maximum of 10 people. I'm not sure how many seats are left. Charles can let you know. Hey, cutie. I also think Sparky is a female, just looking at that there now. Let's see if we can get... Where's he gone? Sometimes he's coming right up behind you, Matt. I'll turn the reverse light on for you. Where is he? Where is she? He's here. She's coming to inspect you close. Might head off down towards Ndorwa Dam for a drink. See it? Disappearing.
Yeah, just going to the right.
To the right. Ah, yes. I have it. Oh, that's Mello. Sorry, guys. You guys are much better at hyena IDs than me. Okay. Well, Mello's made a disappearing. Well, let's just see who else shows up. Okay. I will, yes, that is very, very, very true. I did forget. And now my tea's finished as well. Oh dear. So, take you through the sort of breakdown of the carcass. So, of course, we've seen what's here first is the scavengers, hyenas and vultures and lions would be the first. And they would, particularly adult hyenas and adult lions, be able to cut through that incredibly thick skin of the elephant to give even animals like vultures a chance to get in. So the vultures won't even be able to cut through that thick skin of the elephant. Oh yeah, hot tea. And at the same time, already, before the big creatures have managed to sort of cut open the skin, you've got your tiny little creatures, your flies, your carrion beetles. There's even a special, well, this one's head's gone, but a special species of carrion beetle that focuses on getting into the brain cavities of deceased large mammals like rhino, buffalo, elephant, giraffe. So they will crawl and lay their eggs inside the brain, and then the larvae will hatch and eat the brain. And there's others that go into the sinuses and stuff. So those actually happen quite quickly. The insects are generally the first in there that start the sort of breakdown process. They're not only are they the first, but they're also the last, which I find incredible. So long after the big carnivores and vultures have moved off, there's still certain insects that are sort of inside marrow, inside the brain cavity, inside places like that. Yeah. So, of course, the insects are always working. And there sort of gets to a point, well, I've seen lions and hyenas, if they're hungry enough, eat absolutely sort of putrefying liquid flesh off carcasses. But yeah, so that does happen. But generally, there gets to a point where it's a bit too rotten. Jackal would come in and sneak. I'm surprised the jackal from zebra plains haven't made their way here. They might have not smelt it. The wind is sort of blowing in the opposite direction, and they'll come back. And then, as I say, the hyenas will keep feeding. The insects are the main sort of things that are really sort of doing the hard work that you can't see in places that not even hyenas can get to with their incredibly strong jaws. One of the things that lasts for an incredibly long time is actually the skin. So very few animals can eat an elephant's skin after a few days. It becomes very hard, and you'll actually find pieces of elephant skin for years after the animal has died. But as I say, probably what we'll do is we'll keep coming back. How's that? We'll keep coming back here to check, and we'll over the next next month or so, or 2 months, we'll check the procedure and see how the bones are scattered. We'll go see if the little the rodents, particularly like porcupines, like to chew on bones like that for calcium for their quills. Okay. Beach bunny. The difference is, well, the animals always determine what we see on a virtual private safari, but you'll be able to speak to me directly into my ear via Zoom normally, and there's only a maximum of 10 people, and all your questions will be answered. That's probably the biggest difference. There we go. Thank you, Theo. I missed that, yeah. Donya Vet, I'm drinking my tea quick to keep warm. It's chilly out here. Sexing hyenas isn't the easiest. So let me see. I've got. Just give me a sec there, Matt. I'm gonna. See if I got. I used to have a picture saved. So basically and again, with sub-adults and youngsters, it's incredibly difficult. Actually, I'm going to try to see if I can get it up on my iPad. It's a bigger thing for you guys to see. I don't have that picture. But what you want to do is look at the shape of the belly. Now, of course, when they're all fat, it's quite difficult. Let's see if we've got... So a lot of stuff about hyenas has sort of been changed, and there's been incredible new research done, not yet, quite yet, Matt. I'm trying to look, there used to be a great image. Now, of course, what makes sexing spotted hyenas quite difficult is that the females are generally quite large, and the fact that they have an enlarged pseudo-penis, well, an enlarged clitoris, which looks like it's a pseudo-penis, and pseudo-testes, which is actually their anal gland that they use for scent marking. I'm just trying to find a good picture to show you the difference. So what I look at is generally the shape of the belly. I'm not finding a good picture to display that. I can't find a decent picture. So basically, I can't find a decent picture. Actually, I will find that old diagram, or I'll actually just draw one to make it easier. So basically, with a male, the tummy sort of goes up. So you've got the stomach, and then it goes up quite sharply. And with the female, it's a lot flatter and carries on. With the male, it sort of ducks up. It's the best way I can describe it. So let me see if I can find a picture of it just there. It's amazing. I had such a good image for this. But I don't know, it must be on my computer. Sorry, I will get back to your questions now. I'm just trying to find a decent image to show you the difference. Gotta love it. Dad to the rescue. Gotta love my dad. I'm trying to find an image. Dad has done a very basic one for me. There we go, from my dad, who's watching, who spent an incredible amount of times with the last hyena den we had. Dad to the rescue, male versus female. Thanks, Dad. Okay. Well, it doesn't look like there's too much action here. So I'm going to answer a few more of your questions, and then I'm going to go for a little wonder to see if there isn't possibly a leopard or something quite close by. As I said, I can hear the hyenas just off to my right, sort of a bit of greeting every now and then and a sneeze. Okay, let me finish my tea. Sorry if I missed your questions and stuff, guys. There's a lot coming through. Thank you so much for your questions. We really do appreciate them as well. There we go. Everyone's saying, thanks, Brent's dad. Thanks, Dad. Hyenas are absolutely fascinating creatures, and there's a lot of incredible new sort of things coming in and sort of exceptions to the rule. And I think that's what I really love about hyenas so much. They often have these incredible exceptions to the rule. So hyenas are normally a matriarchal society led by females, but in rare cases there can be a male who leads the clan. And everyone, you hear something? Everyone, I mean, for a long time people considered siblicide to be normal, but now look at this. When we've got triplets running around. No one's tried to kill each other, and obviously that all used to happen. So I think a lot of the information is changing as we learn more and we observe more, and being able to have live cameras at hyena dens where we can actually watch their behavior without any interference. I mean, when no one is there. So Lady Macbeth, no suitable tree. It's not about where to put the camera for the live cam. We need to put up a dish that can see our repeater sites to stream. And there's no place we could put up a dish here that would enable us to do that easily. So, I mean, one of the other amazing things is that, for me, about hyenas is that the fact that they can scheme. So, in certain sort of cognition and intelligence tests, they've actually rated higher than chimpanzees. And hyenas can start as the lowest ranked. A female hyena can start as the lowest ranked hyena in the clan. And she can scheme her way to becoming the matriarch, making friends here, doing this. And also, on some of the cognition studies, what's most amazing is the lower ranked you are, generally seems to improve your intelligence. You have to think out of the box so you don't get bullied. The fact that hyenas will hide meat in water so other hyenas can't smell it, but they'll remember exactly where they hid it and then go fetch it. They're just such incredible creatures. Well, not all the action we were hoping for, but that might still come. The lions might still come tomorrow morning or overnight. But I think we're going to go for a little bumble around, see if there isn't something watching close by. Take you on a bit of a night drive as well. But I have to do one thing first, which is put the big camera mount back in. Matt, you're going to have space at your feet there.
Yep.
So I've got the battery hooked up with the spotlight. There we go. That's for the big camera. Very heavy. Oh, we will put one of those up. I just forgot to bring it, and I didn't want to do it while the hyenas were here. But if there is a gap tomorrow, I will put up a camera trap. Yeah. Oh, that's not. Okay, we got that, we got that. We're not going to lose anything, Matthew. Okay, I'm going to unplug this one for now. So we're just going to turn the yellow light off for the moment. Oopsie, I bumped something I shouldn't have. Don't beep at me. And then, okay, let me just say, I'm just going to make sure everything, the big camera is nice and safe here, under a blankie. Get the big torch out. We're ready, Matt.
Are you ready?
I'm always ready, Matt. Eventually. So I say there's always a chance that there's a leopard or something close by that's just watching and waiting for a gap to sneak into a carcass like this. Now, on Rietspruit Game Reserve, the 3 big male lions killed a big giraffe. And we went there. Oh, Scott Dyson was with us as well. Scotty D. It was Veer, myself, and Scott. And the lions went off to have a drink. And we decided to go back to the carcass while the lions weren't there, the 3 big males. And we saw the most exquisite little female leopard sneak in and start feeding on the carcass. So what we'll do is we'll do a little loop round and come back to the carcass. So we've been talking and scheming about what we might be able to do in the future to do some sort of out there sort of crazier things. And one of the ideas, once we sort of get enough people, or I'm sure we can find some people who are keen, is during the impala lambing, during the impala lambing season, would be to just stick with an impala herd for 24 hours. Obviously, Vim's been scheming about what type of cameras we can rig, because the infrared lights are great, but it doesn't really give you distance. So Vim and Dean, they think they've got some ideas, but that's one of the sort of fun nighttime and daytime things. Because, I mean, on impala plains here, we had those hyenas charging into those impala almost. We always sort of were just out of the time when we arrived there. We've either got there after they'd already caught one or had failed to catch one. Yeah, we all miss Scotty D. He has promised to visit soon, so when he is in the Hoedspruit area, he always pops into the den. Okay, so I'm going to say, there's Ndlovu Dam not far away, so we'll just do a little swing past the water. You never know what might be there. Maybe we'll get lucky with a spotted cat. Good hunting weather for leopard tonight and lion. Gusty wind, dark night. Oh, vultures everywhere. We don't want to shine on the vultures, give them a fright, and then they defecate on us. It could also be a reason why not all the members of the clan or the lions or Lagatha and whatnot haven't found the carcass. There was very little wind today, and now the wind is sort of gusting But maybe that wind will take the smell of the carcass onto the air. And who knows what's going to be there in the morning. So this is a favorite hangout of our dear Pixie Pan. Let's go down to the dam water's edge. We might find the lone hippo of Pridelands wandering around out of the water. Alas, nothing yet. Nothing at the waterhole. I'm just going to turn my spotlight off for a second as we drive on the edge of the eco training camp. We don't want to blind anyone. Might give me a chance to see if there's any questions. Indeed, hyenas have incredible endurance. Now, I've seen hyenas hunt topi, which is one of the fastest antelope in the world, and in the Masai Mara, and they hunt them by endurance. They just keep running and running and running till the topi gets so tired it can't escape. Okay, we're through camp. And it's not uncommon to find the leopards right on the edge of the Pridelands camp. I found them here a few times. One of the other things a lot of people don't realize is that about 80% of your more interesting small mammals only come out at night. Genets, civets, bush babies, serval, caracal, or hyenas. But all the mammals, there's a lot of incredible nocturnal wildlife. Aardvark, even honey badgers, more active generally in the evening. And one of the more interesting things is that lion, leopard, hyena, they can be active throughout the night and move around, but generally they are most active for the sort of the first 2 hours after sunset and the first 2 hours before sunrise. And then they pretty much snooze a lot of the, whoopsie, I've put it on the wrong setting again, there we go, a lot of the other time. And depending on your large predator density also depends on the movement of some of your more interesting animals like your aardvark and even porcupine and stuff like that. So to avoid the times that the lions and leopards and hyenas are most active, in certain areas aardvark and honey badgers and well, not so much honey badgers, but porcupines and civets and genets generally only get active sort of after that first 2 hours. And that's why one of the reasons why they're quite uncommon to see on game drive, because you normally close down when the sort of big predators peak of activity stops. Now the other thing is that they generally singularly or live as individuals. They're not in herds and stuff, and a lot of them are quite small, which makes finding some of those smaller nocturnal animals that much harder, and it's that much special when you do spot them. That much more special. Oh, language there, Smith. Yeah. So I said we'll do this loop around the block where the elephant carcass is in, just to see if there's not a kitty cat sneaking about. And white-tailed mongoose, of course. Yes, bat-eared foxes are amazing. Unfortunately, we're a bit too far south to find bat-eared foxes here. Now, another thing is you'll notice that those smaller mammals are going to be less active on a windy night like this because their hearing and smell is a little bit compromised, which makes it a little bit easier for the predators to catch them or surprise them. It's not to say they won't go out, but they might be a little bit more cautious. Robert, I have been lucky enough to see striped hyenas in Kenya quite a few times, which means I've actually seen all hyena species. Yes, the whole family. Spotted, brown, striped, and aardwolf, which is a member of the Hyenidae family, even though he eats termites. Now, aardwolf, I've only ever seen one in the lowvelds of South Africa. I've seen them numerous times up in Botswana and in the Kalahari, but I've only ever seen one aardwolf and I've seen them in Kenya as well, but I've only ever seen one aardwolf in the lowvelds, in the Greater Kruger, and that was in the Manyeleti Game Reserve. Who was with me when I saw it? Brian? I think Veer might have been. So it was when we were at Wild Earth, and we used to live in the Manyeleti and have to drive up and down between the Manyeleti and the Sabi Sands. And it was in the early morning, one of those early mornings heading towards Djuma from Manyeleti main camp, that we spotted an aardwolf. And then the only other record I know of an aardwolf in that area, the Sabi Sands, Manyeleti, was from the mid-80s, and it was seen by Lex Hess on Londolozi. So there's only two records I know of aardwolf in this area. What eye was that? It disappeared. It ducked down quite quickly. There's another road coming up. Let's have a look. It was enough to interest me. Probably a duiker. They can trick you. They look quite cat-like often. There's the junction. Just have a quick look there. Could also just be a hyena lying down. We're getting a little bit close to the carcass again. Just want to go double check what that eye was. It's in here. It's just in here somewhere. Maybe a civet or a genet that's scurried off. Not getting that eye again. Okay. Let's find a spot to turn around. Oh, lots of the ellies have been pushing over a lot of trees. Finding a good spot to turn around here is not the easiest. Go, badger, go. Well, fingers crossed that maybe a spotted kitty has snuck up to the elephant carcass. let's go have one last check at the carcass itself. Oopsie, I've slipped. There we go. No, still slipped. There we go. Now, I always, out of habit, even on an established sighting like this, I think it's very good practice. I always make sure I'm in low range, so I can keep my revs low and I go into second gear. And then you can idle in very quietly and very softly. And that means if there is an unrelaxed leopard or a skittish lion around a carcass like that, there's a lot less chance of you chasing it off than if you have to drive normally and you changing gears and revving the engine. Just go into second gear, low range if you have a vehicle. And that even works for those if you're driving yourself around Kruger or whatnot. If you see a sighting, approach a sighting, even with relaxed animals, going into low range and idling up to them will generally create a much better impression on the animals, and you're likely to have a much nicer sighting than you would if you come in too quickly. And also, for those who've listened, and if you do drive yourself around Kruger, if you do have the opportunity to drive, try not drive directly at the animals. Always try sort of have a little bit of an angle. Imagine someone running straight up to you like this, coming straight at you. It can come across as quite threatening. And so little tricks like that if you are taking yourself around one of the game parks. And it doesn't have to be in South Africa. The same principles will work for American animals, South American animals, Indian animals. The behavior is quite similar, and how they react to vehicles and how they react to you driving. So a little tip for the evening. Nope. I think hyenas are probably still just sleeping off to the right. Nice and full of elephant. Behave yourself, Torch. So, well, that is. I think we're gonna head home. It's been absolutely amazing having you on the vehicle with us. And remember, if you want to see what's happening at the Carcass tomorrow morning, there might be a few seats left to join on a private live virtual safari. With myself, I'll be hosting a safari tomorrow morning, Sunday morning and Sunday afternoon, and then Dylan will be doing Saturday afternoon. So if you do want to keep up with the Carcass, and that we will definitely be visiting it next week. Keep an eye on all the different social media. And if you really want to know what's going on at Painted Dog TV, when we're going to have one of these, etc., you need to go download the Painted Dog TV app. You can do that on either the iOS store, the Apple Store, or the Play Store, I think it's called, the Play Store. Download the Painted Dog TV app. That is the best way to keep up to date with us. Also, you will see things on the app that you might not see on social media, and that's just because you've downloaded the app. So it would be great to have you on the Painted Dog app, and very exciting things in the future that you'll be able to learn about from Painted Dog TV. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Go follow us on our different social media platforms. On Instagram, Painted Dog TV, or Brent Leo-Smith. Facebook, the same. I think I'm forgetting anything. Of course, a big thank you to Anton Latergan and Pridelands Conservancy, where we are sitting at the moment, being able to view this incredible scene. Not quite all the action we're hoping for, but who knows, it might happen again soon. But from us, we're going to go get warm, get into bed, so we can get up early and do it all again tomorrow morning. Bye!